Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a fun 6x8 spread in my 2021 Summer of Fun album. This is the first spread I'm working on in this album, and as you can see, I've created a cut file I created a ice cream cone cut file, and I am backing it with papers from the Cocoa Daisy Wisteria Lane collection because you can see Finn is wearing bright purple and he got purple ice cream. So it is the perfect collection to document that because, as you know, finding purple in the scrapbooking world is a little bit difficult sometimes. So this was perfection. So I have already pre-stenciled around these papers just to make it easier before I started the video, and I'm just backing them with liquid glue, orange or pink, I guess, coral for the cone, and layers of purple for the ice cream. So I'm going to create a 6x8 layout on the right hand side with just Finn and his ice cream cone because I really felt like that was the star photo of the spread. So we're just going to make it stand out, and how perfect is that? I really don't want to cover up the cone that much, so I'm trying to make it the star of the show and work around it rather than, block it off. So I'm going to add these foam words that say cool treat, and I'm going to add it to the top of the photo. My initial intentions were to add the title for the spread to this side too, but once I added that cool treat, it felt like a title unto itself, and if I added another title underneath the photo, it would just be too many words, and it was kind of bothering me a little bit. And actually it is something I struggle with throughout this whole spread, trying to figure out how to finish off that side of the layout. So I'm going to skip over to the left hand side and work on the pockets rather than fight that battle while I think about it. I do that a lot. If I'm struggling with a portion of a layout or a spread, I will let it percolate in the back of my head while I work on something else. And oftentimes I find, even with like work problems and other things, if I concentrate on doing something else, the problem sort of works itself out in the back of my brain. So that is what we're doing. I initially put that photo down off center, but I'm gonna move it around here, actually probably towards the end of the video, because I didn't like it. I thought I would like it, but I didn't like it. I'm going to add in a few of these word bits that I have already pulled out before I started the video. And that's another tip that I have for easy scrapbooking. Go through whatever collection or whatever your stash is, whatever you're going to use beforehand, and pull out the things that actually relate to the theme that you are scrapbooking, because if you spend half of your scrapbooking time going through your product, it kind of kills the creative buzz. At least it does for me. I really wanted to include that vellum with the raindrops in this spread because it was actually raining. We had a summer rain while we were eating this ice cream. We actually went to the movies before we stopped for ice cream. And when we came out of the movie theaters, it was raining. And so we ran down the street in the rain to get our ice cream. And being from California, we are not used to, well, I guess at this point we are used to summer rain, but it still kind of takes us by surprise sometimes when it was sunny and now it's raining. So I wanted to include the raindrops. So I decided to build my title on the vellum with the raindrops, and it makes for a really busy card, but that is okay because it creates a focal point as well that kind of counters the focal point of the ice cream cone itself. So now I am adding in some embellishments that I've pulled out of the stash as well, some non-word embellishments because obviously I am full up on words here. So I'm adding in some arrows and a camera and that little heart down there in today's adventure. I really wish I would have been able to cover up the phone on the table, but it was just too far over to really do anything that made sense, so it's just going to sit there next to the heart. Going to add in some of these pretty glittery enamel dots that I always love from these collections and always forget to use. So I'm adding in purple and blue, and then I'm gonna add some on the right hand side as well. They always just are the perfect little bubbles to add a little bit more interest to your clusters. I like to do it in groups of 3, as you know I always do, whether they are all clustered together or whether the 3 dots frame something else like they do with that sweet. And I'm going to add some around here as well. I like to add 3 different colors that sort of coordinate together and coordinate with my spread to all work together. So I'm still struggling a bit with that right hand side. As you can see, the bottom right hand of that layout is very empty, and I don't need to add in any more journaling, and I don't want to add in any more words. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do. So I'm moving over this photo so that it's more centered on the card. And then I decide I'm going to back this photo in this pretty polka dot card. I don't really want the green and the yellow to show too much because I'm not using those colors. So I'm going to try and frame the photo so that the green and yellow isn't really that visible, and it's going to kind of go up underneath the cool treat portion of this cluster. And I'm very carefully taking it off. Luckily it came off fairly easily. And then I'm just going to actually trim off the top portion so that it is not very visible. So I'm just taking my scissors and cutting off the green part. And I'm actually going to move everything down slightly as well, and that'll take care of all of that empty space down there at the bottom while not adding something distracting to the layout itself. I really wanted to keep it fairly simple and let that big ice cream cone do the talking. There we go. So I'm going to put this back down now and adjust the stickers so everything fits perfectly. Here we go. Make sure everything's stuck down. I'm going to move this cool down so it's a little bit more tight with the treat. There we go. So that is about it for this spread. I don't think I add anything else. Ah, I know what I do. So the 6x8 album is actually like 6x8.5. And having that floating down there was really bothering me. So I'm just going to frame this with the plaid at the top and the bottom so that it fits better. So I have to remember that for future reference. It's not quite 6x8. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you, and I will see you next time. Thank you.